Hello friends, welcome back to Hong Kong. Shadowrun Hong Kong. Extended edition. Gotta wait. That music swell there gets me every time. Alright, I just needed to hear that music swell. The last episode, we had a date with a strangler, and that video actually did pretty good views. So if you're new to the channel and you checked it out and you're enjoying this series, welcome aboard. Please consider subscribing to the channel because I'm going to be playing through this whole game, and I've already played through the other two Harebrained Scheme Shadowrun games. So, anyway, we're here at Hoi. I looked up how to pronounce this, and there's actually some discrepancy. Sometimes it has an H, and I think sometimes it has like a B instead of an H. I don't remember quite what it was. So there's some discrepancy on the pronunciation. I don't know quite if there's a universally accepted English style pronunciation for that or not. What is this? A large X fashioned from overlapping strips of duct tape. Great. That's fantastic. Frederick, we have access to an MTR station. But let's go down and do what we actually have to do before we go there. Actually, let's talk to Maximum Law. What's up, Maximum? A young man wearing bulky virtual reality goggles glances your way for a moment, then turns away in disdain. Who are you? He doesn't even look at you. Shop's closed, get lost. Cool. The insulation on these heavy wires is cracked. They buzz and crackle occasionally as stray drips from the awning strike them. Whenever I get quiet during this game, I'm just enjoying the music. Kindly Cheng watches you closely as you walk across the mahjong parlor. As you approach, her lieutenant leans in and brings her mouth close to the triad boss's ear. Cheng smiles and nods, her eyes never leaving you. Her rusty voice rolls from somewhere deep. I've heard from Bao. He got my message very clearly. But he also says there was bloodshed, and I specifically told you to let them live. I'm disappointed. Couldn't be helped, we were defending ourselves. You screwed up, plain and simple. Nonetheless, I expected you to be a bit sloppy. It's partly why I sent you. What? Part of the message was on that stick, and part was the messenger. Bao didn't rate sending real Shadowrunners to deal with him. Your sloppy handling of the job helped to prove my point. Good to be of service. Kindly Cheng stares at you for a moment, reviewing your tone. My message was delivered, and Strangler Bao is back in the fold, earning for me. As far as I'm concerned, our transaction is complete. While you were gone, I set the wheels in motion to wipe your identities. She pulls out her PDA, stabs a button with a lacquered fingernail. The order has been sent. Congratulations, you are now SINless shadow people. Wu exhales heavily. His eyes remain focused straight ahead, but his shoulders sag. Well, I guess that's done. Yeah, I guess so, but I'm not. Wu pulls himself up. Whoever gave the kill orders on Carter also forced us to give up our identities, and took Raymond. Wu sets his jaw firm. That's all I can think about, finding who did this, finding Ray. While I was working to get your sins burned, I also had my network look into Raymond Black's disappearance. She rests her PDA on the mahjong table facing you. The triad boss's tongue slips from her mouth as she looks over the top, hunting for the right button on its upside-down interface. She finds it and looks up at you again. I have news to share with you, my darlings, the kind you won't like. Raymond Black is dead. She taps the button and a recorded newscast appears on the screen. Raymond's photograph appears on the screen behind a reporter standing on the docks in Victoria Harbor. It's a picture you've seen before, a professional portrait taken for a press release about a youth center he was opening in the Redmond Barrens. Under Raymond's photo are the words, Seattle man killed. Another shooting involving the police department. A Seattle community organizer and industrial engineer was apparently shot and killed while resisting arrest at Victoria Harbor last night. HKPF police report that the UCAS man, Raymond Black, was behaving erratically and would not respond to police orders to surrender. No additional information regarding Black or why he was traveling to Hong Kong are available. Police have stated that due to this shooting's proximity to last night's shootout with the White Star, the investigation must remain confidential and no other details are being revealed at this time. Kindly Cheng taps the button again and the video closes. Wu puts his hands to his face. This just keeps getting worse. You were right, Auntie. That was news I did not like. Raymond's dead. Wu puts his hand over his mouth, trying to process the information. He sways, and for a moment it looks as if he's going to pass out. Isabel reaches out to touch Wu, thinks better of it, and pulls back her hand. Sorry for your loss. I never had a father, so I don't know what it's like to lose one, but sorry. Raymond dies the same night we're ambushed? That's no coincidence. No way. Kindly taps the video closed. She hunts around the keypad and selects another button. I'm afraid that's not all, my darlings. This is security footage from Victoria Harbor last night. You'll find it contains a contradiction. The PDA shows silent, grainy footage of Raymond sitting in a tea shop flanked by two guards. He's looking down at something in his hand, completely distracted. The footage continues and the camera displays several black-clad figures entering its field of view from different angles, guns ready. A tall, sharply dressed man in a suit walks briskly towards Raymond, flanked by two more. Raymond stands to face and the camera gets a clear view of the suit's face, white plastic. His guards turn to draw weapons and muzzle flashes erupt from all sides. One of Raymond's guards goes down and his submachine gun fires wildly, hitting the camera. Those weren't cops, and Raymond wasn't resisting arrest. What's with that guy's face? Is that a mask? It doesn't seem like a mask. It looks like some sort of semi-rigid plastic implant, real craftsmanship. Quite the fashion accessory. Excuse me. Quite the fashion accessory. It's also the kind of fashion accessory that stands out in a crowd. This guy's either a fool or an arrogant guy. He sets his jaw firm. Either way, I'm going to find him. I believe you. What now? We find the plastic-faced man and drag him somewhere private. Make him dig his own hole. Then we fill it. Kindly... Cheng's eyes sparkle. I like the way you think. That is exactly what I would do. But how? I'm afraid there are some facts you are going to have to face. She puts on a grave face. You are alone in this country. No network, no money, no identity. I could protect you from the police, but how would you go about discovering what happened to Raymond without me? How would you survive? Kindly wipes her hand across a stack of tiles, spreading the ivory-colored pieces across the table. You've had a very long night, my sweets. Very long. And frankly, you all look like doo-doo. Right now, I promise you safety in my town for the night. We'll talk about the plastic-faced man tomorrow. She gestures to Gobbet and Isabel. Ladies, go find our new friends a place to bed down in that rat's nest squat boat you call home. We'll all talk after you've slept. Find out our next steps together. Yes, Auntie. Yes, Auntie. Thank you for your help, Auntie. Of course, my sweet. Kindly Cheng smiles and her black button eyes flash cold. What are friends for? I love the writing of this character because her words and her physical descriptions are at such odds with each other. It just really points like how cold and calculating she is, even with her word choices. I kind of want to go check out the transit station here. Is that where we came out of? Because I thought we came out from over here. Is there anything we can do here? No, it is just a future travel point. Alright. Is there anything else down this way? Looks like no. That looks so cool. I love the detail. Let's zoom in here on this. We got the paper lantern. We got the big picture. Clearly some sort of a produce market here that somebody just probably has right outside their home. Maybe that's not a home. Maybe that's a storefront. But I love it. I love the art, the music. It's just a Great experience. But let's go check out the Rat's Nest squat boat. Actually, let's see. That's called the Bolt Hole. That makes sense. The original name has been sloppily painted over with black paint. Newer but somewhat weathered characters have been painted in bold brush strokes and read Bolt Hole. You two can bunk here for a while. You've each got a head to take care of your necessaries. Try to knock before you enter someone else's, okay? Seriously. I know the drill. Stinks of fish, just like that place we squatted at on Leary Avenue back when we were kids. The one with that Asdlan family and their dog. You hated that dog. He kept digging out my food stash. No matter where I hid it, he'd find it and scarf down a week's worth of grub. Still, it was sad what happened to him and the family. No one should go out that way. He stretches and his spine pops like a handful of firecrackers. I think I've been up for something like 36 hours straight. And this has been a terrible day. Time to end it. The orc turns to you, raises an eyebrow. Anything you need before I leave you to it? Is there a place for my stuff? Yeah, check the locker over there. You can stash your stuff in it. No one will touch your things in there, and it's a lot bigger than it looks. Is it just you and Isabel living here? Yeah. Now that Nightjar and Gutshot are gone, it's just us. The squeal of metal grinding on metal rips through the boat. It sounds like it's coming from the level below. And the creepy Russian guy renting the engine room downstairs. Nothing to worry about. He mostly keeps to himself. He'll stop soon. He's usually quiet by now. How'd you get your hands on this place? How do people like us get our hands on anything? We found it. You found it empty? Somebody abandoned a prime piece of real estate like this? Close enough. It was full of BTL junkies when we came across it. They were completely wigged out on some multiplayer cyber game. I'm not sure they ever chipped out of it. They were completely emaciated, stewing in piles of their own feces. Their eyes had sunk into their skulls. Pretty gruesome stuff. They racked up a killer score, though. True, they had the moves. Should have hung an IV while they were playing, though. Turns out nutrition is important. So what happened? Did they die? Nightjar ran him out. Not sure what happened to him after that. Anyway, it's ours now. Auntie Cheng says so. All but the engine room, you mean? Right, everything but that. Auntie rented it out from under us. That must have irritated you. Whatever, we weren't using it. As long as our downstairs neighbor keeps to himself, he can have the lower level, especially if it keeps Auntie Cheng happy. Think I'll have a look around. Okay, but get some sleep soon. You look like you could use it. We'll go see Kindly in the morning, figure out our next move. Can I go visit the Russian? Looks like no. Alright, so this is my room. I don't have anything in the stash. But in the future, this will be handy. This is probably Duncan right here, right? Yeah. What's up, Duncan? Hey, I got some things I gotta take care of. I'm not gonna say this name anymore. I can't believe I called my character that. Let's talk later. Okay. This is cool. Come back later, Skinner Up. I'm busy. Hey, Seattle, I'm not really in the mood to hang out right now. Heavy stuff going down, you know? I'll be fine, but for the time being, I'd rather be alone. We'll talk later, though. Alright, so everybody's just, wanting to go to bed, and I can't go talk to the creepy Russian dude, so I guess we're just going to bed. Go to bed. Go to bed. You climb into the cot and worm your way under the sheets. They've been starched stiff as boards, but you've slept beneath worse. The lice and bedbugs that plagued your old prison cell are mercifully absent here, and the salt air is fresher than the rancid stink of the Redmond Barrens. The moment your head hits the pillow, exhaustion sets in. You can barely keep your eyes open. Sleep washes over you like a warm bath, and everything goes black. Objective complete. Get some sleep. The dream is suffocating. The shifting tunnel of glass and steel, the towering silhouette of dark majesty, the shadowy doorway, and the teeth. They snap at your heels as you claw your way back to consciousness. You open your eyes to see Duncan looming over you. He shakes your shoulder roughly. Come on, wake up. We gotta go talk to Kindly. The others have already left. That was one rough night. He lets go of your shoulder, cocks a thumb at the hatch. We gotta go. I've been trying to wake you for a while now. You were thrashing in your sleep. Glad you did. I was having a terrible nightmare. Yeah, I didn't sleep well either. Had a bad dream last night, too. What about? I never remember my dreams all that well. It was probably motion sickness, not used to sleeping on a boat. I woke up a little while ago and hit the head, then I came back and woke you. We should go. Yeah, no sweat. Today's better be a step up from yesterday. Nothing's gone right ever since we stepped foot in this country. I hear you. Think about it. That statement from the cops on the newscast could be fake. Ours was, and that surveillance footage, we never saw Raymond got shot. The camera was hit by stray gunfire. His passion is intense, but contained and focused. Raymond's alive, I know it. You make a good case, Officer Wu. He smiles. His teeth are white and straight and perfect. Should have been a detective instead of a headbuster, right? His smile fades. God, I feel like I'm 12 years old again, squatting on a stinking trawler. My partner's gone, Raymond's gone. I'm gone. I don't even have a name anymore. And now I can't even go to sleep and hide from it all without having a nightmare. His jaw tightens and his teeth grind so loud you can hear it. What else is going to be taken from me? You still have that piercing you got in Tacoma? I had to drop that. Hygiene issues. He struggles to smile and fails. What did we fall into here? I mean, what's coming next? Isn't it obvious? Look around. We're SINless, living in the shadows, dealing with criminals. Wu is silent for a moment. All you get is a blank expression. You're thinking of becoming a Shadowrunner. He says it without judgment, just a statement of fact. I think we already are Shadowrunners. I think this whole thing has been a blur. I haven't been able to really stop and think for a second. This isn't the way it's supposed to be. I'm supposed to be a cop. And I want a pony, but we play the cards we're dealt. He drops his hands to his hips and takes a couple of deep breaths. That's right, that's right. It's like Ray always said. Those are all good options. But I think when the winds of change blow, some people build walls, others build windmills. He chuckles, finally. Raymond never said that. It was our housekeeper, Mrs. Maloney. She had it tattooed on her back, right? How'd you see it? Yikes. Don't mess with me, man. You know I've got anger management issues. Gobbett and Isabel left a while ago. We should get going, too. See what that triad lady has to say. Alright, let's go meet with Kindly. Coming, Duncan? Come on. Giddy up. Okay. This guy's just kicking his feet. He looks very much at peace. Let's hop in the Mahjong parlor, which is quite busy first thing in the morning. Alright. Kindly's place reeks of stale cigar smoke and fresh urine. The clicking of Mahjong tiles is strangely absent. In its place is a low murmur of laughter and an air of eager anticipation. All eyes are focused on the groaning figure kneeling bloody and bound at the feet of Kindly Cheng. This guy right here. She beckons to him with her finger and he struggles towards her, the loud rustling of the plastic tarp crackling under his knees as he moves. His pants are wet with fear, and a acetylene torch lies on the table at Cheng's right hand. My goodness, what a scene we have walked into. Kindly Cheng ignores the scene. She behaves as if all is right in the world. How did you sleep, my little ones? Like a baby, Auntie. I'm still in the afterglow of our tour of the walled city. The triad boss's eyes turn to half-moons of amusement. Afterglow, really? She nods her head towards the pillar of meat standing behind her. Then you should be delighted to say hello to your old friend Strangler Bao. He's here because of you. What's up, Beef? Strangler Bao's eyes widen until they're more white than color. There's raw hatred written there. Cheng's demeanor changes in a heartbeat. Her amused expression drops like acid rain. Mr. Bao is an honored member of the Yellow Lotus, whereas you are an outsider. A disposable outsider. Well then, now that the niceties are over, let's get to the nasties. Is that... Oh, this is Bao here, so who's this guy? She indicates the kneeling man with an incline of her nose. This guy here is a plain-clothes cop. He snuck into the area last night while you were sleeping, hoping to find you and kill you before his competition got to you first. My men found him outside the trawler you were sleeping on. They saw to it that your rest was undisturbed and that your location remained a mystery. You can thank Mr. Bao for that. Thank you for guaranteeing our safety, Mr. Bao. Cheng's stiff eyebrows go up a little. That's better. She addresses the bloody man on his knees. Now, tell my friends here what you told me. Officer, I don't know anything, I swear. We just got the orders last night. He pushes his head toward you and Wu from the floor, struggling to keep his balance. Somebody high up wants these two dead. The whole department is in on it. I don't know anything else. Someone from high up. The old woman lifts her foot, taps his chin with the toe of her shoe. How high? The cop looks up at her, looks around at the room filled with triad soldiers. One of them opens his coat and shows the cop something inside. He closes it slowly and winks. The cop drops his head to his chest. All the way up. All the way up. It's someone on the council. Someone on the executive council wants these two dead. Cheng spits on him with a sneer. Curse your ancestors to the 18th generation. Give me the truth. It's so hard sometimes with these games to edit it to be quote-unquote family-friendly. Cop wears the spittle, never lifts his head. It's the truth, madam, I swear it. Whoever it was labeled them as terrorists, were to exterminate with extreme prejudice. Henley Cheng shuffles closer to the kneeling cop, reaches down and strokes his head with her hand. Then she slowly digs her fingers into scalp, pulls back hard until his chin points high. The triad boss leans in close and searches his eyes with her own. That's all he's got. She lets go of his head and smooths his buzzed, cut hair with her hand. For whatever reason, last night someone on the Executive Council of the Free Enterprise Zone ordered the Hong Kong police force to kill 2 nobodies from Seattle. I find that fascinating, don't you? Yes, but why the need to label us international terrorists? She strokes the policeman's cheek with the back of her hand. Her rusty voice becomes sweet as she explains the ways of the world. Propriety, my darling. When the government has someone gunned down, they prefer to make it appear justified. The people feel safer when their murders feel like part of civilization. Now them's some words. My, but you have definitely fallen into the deep end of the pool. Seattle isn't like Hong Kong. There, the megacorps control the government. Here, the corps are the government. The exec council is chosen by the corporate board of governors. They're basically the legislative and executive branches of the Hong Kong government in one tiny package. 8 people call all the shots, neat and efficient. Kylie Cheng steps back from the cop and lights one of her thin black cigars. For the wage slaves and the civilian sheep, the corporations are a pantheon of gods who wield absolute power. But not for us. The triad woman takes a long pull from her cigar and taps her ash on the kneeling cop's head. Who else knows about my guest's visit to Hoi? No one, madam. I hadn't called it in yet. I wanted the kill for myself. No one knows they're here. I swear it. Mr. Bao. Bao fiddles with the PDA in his meaty hands. He's telling the truth. Now, no outgoing calls on his PDA. Very good. Thank you, Bao. Thank you for your honesty, she says to the cop. In one smooth motion, Strangler Bao produces a silenced pistol, fires it once into the policeman's head, and replaces it in his jacket. His face never changes expression. Looks like the triads can be just as efficient. Yes, my darling. She balances her cigar on her shot glass, picks up some mahjong tiles, and begins playing with them absently. It is clear our friend Raymond Black was up to something involving the walled city, something having to do with prosperity. And this executive council member wanted Raymond dead for it. She stacks her tiles one by one. Click-clack. Now they want you dead for it too. Click. The plastic-faced man may show up on your door one day too. She knocks the pile over and it clatters to the table loudly. I have a proposal for you, my sweets. A smile lights up her dead black eyes. Work for me. With Nightjar and Gutshot dead, I find myself with 2 job openings. Fill them. I have need of deniable assets here, players unaffiliated with the triads who can take care of some of the more unsavory business needs about town. You've proven yourselves resourceful, and you have no existing connections here. That can be a positive in this line of work. Shadowrunners. Wu grunts. His jaw tightens, but he stays quiet. In exchange, I will keep you safe from pests like this one. She nods at the body on the floor. The pool of blood on the plastic wrap continues to widen. You'll have safe harbor here in my town and a steady source of income. She picks up a handful of tiles again, and while you dip your toe into the waters of corporate espionage, organized crime, and clandestine mercenary actions, I will employ my network to find the plastic-faced man and gather information about Raymond Black, where he's been, who he's talked to, who stood to gain from his death, what this prosperity could be. You're putting out a lot of effort to help a pair of foreigners. Not foreigners, my sweet. Valued business associates. I need to learn who killed one of my clients and then ordered the cops to execute my team of Shadowrunners. This is a brazen disregard of my power. Face dictates it must be confronted or I stand to lose everything. How would the arrangement work? I find the right jobs for people with your talents. You do what our clients cannot do for themselves. I take a finder's fee and a small percentage of your earnings. You make a lot of nuyen very quickly. It's all very civilized. She leans in. Work with me. Allow me to help you make money. Let my network work for you and help you find out what you've gotten yourselves into. Without my help, you won't last a day out there. You are completely out of your depth, I'm afraid. You need a partner. Kindly Cheng will be your partner. Wu's hands go to his hips. He drops his head and shakes it a little amused. It was just like you said. Shadowrunners. Glad I had some time to think about it. Process. He grips the back of his neck, squeezes hard, rips his hand away. Why not? I'm not a cop anymore. That guy's dead. He nods. The decision's made. I'm in. What about you? I think Ray's still alive. Let's run the shadows and find out what happened to him. Raymond is alive, I'm sure of it. So I'll run the shadows as long as Auntie Cheng keeps up her end of the bargain and helps us figure out what really happened to him. Then I'm gonna find my father. Then it's done. Hyoi is now open to you. She gestures to her lieutenant, who raises a finger to hit her ear and whispers into his sleeve. First order of business. Skinwrap here has already chosen a street name. She turns her attention to Wu. But Duncan Wu doesn't exist anymore. You'll need one too. Yeah, okay, I'll think of something. Gobbet rubs her cheek against her rats, a glint in her eye. I think we've already got you covered, gun show. She turns to Isabel. Fits, doesn't it? Indeed. I knew that was gonna stick. It has stuck. Gobbet, Isabel, we'll handle this the same way we did with your previous work. She didn't say Nightjar. All the jobs I line up for you will be sent to your computer on the squat boat. She's pointing at you. Why me? It's a simple process of elimination. She points to little Decker. Isabel isn't the leader type. You got that right. And for Gobbet, let's just say Gobbet doesn't have a head for business. Not my thing. Then she rests her finger on Wu, and then there's Gun Show. The jury's out on Mr. Gun Show. Meaning? Her response is direct and straightforward. Meaning there's a lot going on there's a lot going on within that head. Oh, within. It shouldn't be a space there. Within that head of yours right now, and I'm not sure I can trust you. So I'm in charge because I'm the best of the worst? Oh, my sweet, don't put it that way. You're the most equipped for the role. She's making sense. You're the right person for this. Okay then, guess I'm running the show. Wu shakes his head, eyebrows raised. Gonna be weird calling you skin wrap again. Haven't called you that since we were kids. Gobbet looks from Isabel to Wu to you. I guess this is our new crew. Welcome to the Shadows, skin wrap. Activate the mission computer. Kindly regards you coldly and lifts one hand in a dismissive wave. As much as I love your company, I have business to attend to. Clear out of here and go get settled in. We'll just leave that dead cop on the ground. Pretend that didn't happen in our immediate vicinity. Crew advancement available. As you lead your team through the shadows, your companions will continue to develop and learn new combat skills. Clicking the icon in the lower right-hand corner will open the crew advancement icon. Alright, let's... oh, down here. Okay, Gobbet can learn either ranged combat or spiritualists. Ranged combat or spiritualist? Let's do spiritualist. That sounds kind of cool. And Wu can do lethal force, firepower round, or underslung beanbag. 2 AP damage. No crit. Or incendiary damage that does 2 additional damage and pierces 2 armor. That does seem better than crowd control. Well, let's do the crowd control though. That just sounds like interesting. Isabel. Isabel's grenade launcher can now fire remote mines. Or tar blaster. Let's do tar blaster. And that's it. Confirm all. Okay. And what about us? We've got 8 karma points. We should probably do something with that. We could do... just like that. Shotgun rank 4. Is there anything else we should take instead? Increasing our intelligence would be good. That's going to be our next move, is going to be intelligence and biotech, because we have to play up the street medic aspect of this character. Alright, let's go on the boat. Ooh, hatch is open. Ractor. It's oppressively hot down here, and the air is full of synthetic odors that grab you by the sinuses and refuse to let go. You could smell engine grease and melting plastic, ionized air, and lead solder. A quick scan of the room tells you why. The downstairs tenant has converted the space into a machine shop. Metal fabrication tools and Duraplast extruders line the walls, and a pair of heavy industrial manipulators hang from the ceiling. A man in a black trench coat stands with his back to you, staring at a monitor mounted above a sturdy workbench. He addresses you without turning. I was wondering when I'd meet the new neighbor. His voice is pleasant, cultured. There's a hint of a Russian accent there, but it's buried under layers of nuance. Please stay where you are. I'll be with you in just a moment. And unless you fancy an unplanned trip to Chrome Alley, don't touch anything. There's all manner of tools in here that could take your hand clean off. Thanks for the warning. Don't mention it. I have no interest in seeing anyone hurt in my shop, especially not my upstairs neighbor. Examine the robotic arms mounted at the ceiling. You focus on the enormous manipulator arms that you saw earlier, bulky industrial things dented from years of heavy use. Each arm has been fitted with at least a dozen different welders, soldering guns, extruders, and metal fabrication tools. You've seen machinery like this in factories before, but they look terribly out of place in the bolt hole's cramped engine room. Very good. Yes, that's coming along nicely. Very nicely indeed. Oh! He turns toward you, smiling. And for the first time you can see his face. He has broadly handsome Slavic features and a chiseled jaw. His eyes are like flecks of ice. So sorry to have kept you waiting, Mr. Skinwrap. It's no problem. Don't worry about it. You're too kind. Now tell me, what can I do for... His voice trails off as a flash of motion catches his eye. With alarming speed, a sinister-looking drone scuttles out from under the work table. Its movements are surprisingly agile and fluid. The machine rears back menacingly, spreading its forelegs in a clear sign of aggression. The man's smile tilts and his tone goes apologetic. Please don't mind the drone. He can be territorial, but so long as you remain civil, he will not bite. He extends a hand. Simultaneously, the drone relaxes into a neutral position, lowering its killing legs. Ractor, my mechanical counterpart here, is called Kashi. A pleasure. His hand is rough and abnormally warm to the touch. He shakes your hand with a solid grip. I am very pleased to meet you, my friend. In a community such as Hoi, it's important to be on good terms with one's neighbors. Absolutely. I don't have time to chat just now, but it was good to meet you. Very good. I should focus my attention on this morning's casting anyway. A pleasure meeting you at any rate. I'll let you be on your way. Probably shouldn't go that way with the killer drone looking at me. Let's check the computer. Your workstation and mission computer. The cool blue tones of the workstation's main menu fill the screen. A blinking message in the upper right-hand corner notifies you that you have 6 unread messages. Welcome. Kindly. On behalf of your friends at the Hoi Chamber of Commerce and the Swift Winds Mahjong Parlor, I welcome you to the community of Hoi and to our new business venture. I've already lined up 3 jobs for you. The details of each are contained in a separate computer message. Check your messages as new opportunities will arrive. Okay. Ooh, serial killer? I've got a problem, Skinwrap, and you're going to help me solve it. I do a lot of business with the Wampoans. If you're not familiar with the term, I'll forgive you. You are an outsider after all. They're a tribe of techno-fetishists and deckers who've taken up residence in the Whampoa Garden area of Hong Kong. They make and trade high-tech goods to people from all over the world. A lot of Nguyen passes through their pasty little fingers, and I make a lot of money brokering deals between them and the smugglers. I've had a snag, though. The Whampoan elders, their council of leaders, are being eliminated by a serial killer. They've asked me to dispatch someone to get to the bottom of it and stop the killings, and they're not taking their goods through my turf until I do, so you're going to be my proxy. I don't care how you do it, but I need those murders stopped. The Whampoans have a delegate here in Hoi by the name of Maximum Law. Speak with him if you wish to know about Whampoa. He's got a big mouth, but he knows very little of importance. Don't expect much from that half-empty bottle of vinegar. Get down to Whampoa Garden and talk to the elders. Lie, cheat, and steal if you have to, as long as they're convinced that there won't be any more murderers. I want my cut back, and I want it soon. Take the run. Good, I'll tell the elders... Oh, she replied quickly. I'll tell the elders you're coming. They don't like outsiders, and they might shoot at you if I don't warn them that you'll be arriving. Back to route. So I think today, because this episode's already rather long, we're probably just going to look at these jobs, take the jobs, and call it for this episode. So not a particularly action-packed one, but very lore-heavy today. I think I have some pay data to sell, don't I? Yes, exotic animal dealer contract. Alright. I don't care about BBS keywords at this point. Let's look at these other messages. Your mission computer. Set up your mission computer to automatically collect and collate news reports. Some of the keywords I've got it trolling for, things like Raymond, Duncan, Walled City, etc. I've also patched in a permanent link to the Hong Kong BBS. Okay, well, I already did that. Resources from Mr. Bao. I have been instructed to inform you of the various suppliers here in Hoi. Auntie Cheng has cultivated a commercial district of vendors. Ermine at Club 88 is an excellent resource for acquiring additional weapons. If you're in need of magical supplies, go to the Parlor of 5 Phases. Training in the Path of the Adept, seek out Spider Shen. Chrome Alley can get you cybernetics. Law's Techno Palace is decking, and if you need drones, Reliable Matthews Robot Bazaar. Considering the disrespect that you seem content to casually spew, I would suggest that you acquire a small arsenal. You are more than likely to need it. Artifact Liberation. Welcome to the Shadow Skin Wrap. I've received a request from an archaeologist named Mr. Drake. Nathan? He's interested in liberating certain artifacts from beneath a manor house located in Tai Po. I've attached a copy of the video message that he sent me. Mr. Drake. That does not look like Nathan Drake. Hello, Madam Cheng. I've heard that you are a woman who knows how to get things done, especially with regard to things that aren't legal in the strictest sense. That's exactly the kind of help I'm looking for. Recently, a rich investor by the name of Lu Hua decided to expand his manor house on the outskirts of Taipo. Too much money, not enough space for fancy parties, hit a snag with the local government. Pre-modern archaeological artifacts, all of them dating from the Song dynasty. Consequently, I was contracted as an archaeologist to oversee the excavations and ensure everything was properly recorded and catalogued. Sure enough, we were only a few days into the excavation when we discovered a series of tombs lying beneath the site. The scope of the tombs was far beyond anything Lu or I had expected. Several acres of catacombs at least, and untouched relics throughout. What's more, they're certainly older than the Song dynasty. They may even be from the previous cycle of magic. Before I could make my report to the Free Enterprise Zone authorities, however, Lu called in his allies in Tantien Incorporated. Lu sold the entire site to Tantien, who then leased it back to him because Tantien is considered to have extraterritoriality in Hong Kong. Local authorities were powerless to stop Lu from looting the tombs. He immediately began building a museum, if you can call it that, atop the site. He had the gall to call his museum the Emperor's Tomb. The odds of there being an actual emperor buried there are basically nil, but he doesn't care anything to sell a few tickets. He has continued his excavation using Tantien contractors to expand the dig. What he didn't know is that I bugged his comlink before he fired me. Based on what I heard, something strange is going on in the lower levels. Workers have been disappearing, only to be found dead several days later. Whatever's down there is too dangerous to be left in Lu's hands. He must have found my data line tap. This just keeps going. I'm betting those What's the job? A nice simple robbery. Did you... I couldn't keep going. Do you think you could handle something that basic, dear? I have faith in you. Let me know when you're ready to proceed. I'll contact Mr. Drake when you're on your way. Take the run. Excellent. I've attached directions to Lu's estate. Don't mess it up. Back to route. Inbox. Geomantic sabotage. Geomancy is a big business in the Free Enterprise Zone. Here in Hong Kong, feng shui isn't just the act of rearranging your kitchen to make things look pretty. The fortunes of empires rise and fall with the ebb and flow of qi, and sometimes that flow needs a helping hand. I am aware of this from the person in the walled city. Wuxing Incorporated are the preeminent practitioners of large-scale key manipulation here in the Free Enterprise Zone. Wuxing Sky Tower, focused and transformed into good fortune throughout the building's geomantically attuned architecture. Our client believes that it is time for Wuxing's good luck to run out. You are to infiltrate the Sky Tower and disrupt the flow of qi throughout the building, but you are to do so in two distinct fashions. First, you must disrupt the feng shui of the offices by subtly altering the environment of that level. Minor adjustment of desks, spilled water, and other small activities that are unlikely to be noticed. Ordinarily, even subtle disturbances of this nature would be noticed. That's why the client wishes you to make a much louder demonstration of the rooftop garden. The garden is to be ransacked, utterly destroyed, set fire to things, uproot trees, that kind of thing. Our client has also specified that he would like you to destroy the large Buddhist statue in the garden, smash the thing to bits, and leave them scattered across the rooftop. This level of destruction will keep Wuxing's geomancers busy long enough that the more subtle disruptions below will take effect. In addition, it will send the kind of message our client would like Wuxing to hear. I have utmost faith in your ability to cause destruction. The more disruption you can cause on both levels of the Sky Tower, the happier the client will be. As you're not a spellcaster yourself, it may be wise to bring Gobbet along. She will be able to see the most effective ways to disrupt the key. Take the run. Alright. That was a lot of stuff. Let's walk away. So, we're not going to start a job, but we have 3 lined up. We'll have to decide which job to do first. Friends, if you've made it this far in this video and you have a preference as to which job I do first, please let me know in the comments, whether it is the geomancy one, the tomb robbing one, or the Wampoan one. I am going to do all 3, but I'll let you guys pick which one you want to do first. So you could just put in the comments either tomb, killer, or Sky Tower, I guess, or feng shui, whatever. But yeah, let me know in the comments which one I should do first, and I will try to accommodate. So, friends, as always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please also consider doing that. As always, be kind to yourselves, be kind to each other, and we will see you in the next episode, which I promise you is going to be more action-based and less lore-based than today's was. See you in the next episode.